If we sow nothing, we reap nothing. If we don't invest, there is no return. Inaction has a consequence too. We haven't gotten worse, but we haven't gotten better either. Not choosing, not doing, not investing is also a choice we are making, and the consequences are heavy. So, my question to you is, what are you sowing in your life today? Welcome back to a Life Under Construction podcast. I'm your host, Rhoda Daniel, and I'm extremely happy to have you join me here today. In this season, we're talking all about allowing ourselves to be sculpted into the person we were always meant to be through our experiences, through the people around us, but most importantly, through the choices that we are making. I believe that the chisel is in our hand, so let's get sculpted. I've noticed that when adults pick up a book for the first time, pick up a book out of interest rather than compulsion, they always tend to pick up a book on money. Why? Because I think that since they are picking up a book out of their own interest for the first time, they pick up a book that they're interested in, they pick up a book about a topic that is important to them, and that topic mostly is money. Money is important to all of us because we need it to survive, and we are very eager to learn about money because we want to know how to save, we want to know how to invest, we want to know about mutual funds, we want to know about the market risks relating to mutual funds, we want to know about the stock market, we want to know which investment has the highest return because we want those returns and we want them fast. There are other ways we try to improve our financial lives by choosing a career that is well paying, choosing a degree that would give us the best job. We move towns, cities, and even countries in the pursuit for a better life. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good pursuit to have. I've also noticed another thing, that when we compare the investment that we do in our financial lives versus the investment that we put into our own actual lives, into ourselves, there's an imbalance there. We give more weightage to our financial life than to ourselves. And that's a matter of concern. So let's talk about that today. We've all heard that old proverb, as you sow, so shall you reap. Planting leads to a harvest. If you invest good things, you will have good outcomes. You've also heard of Newton's third law of motion. With every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Every action of ours has a consequence. We know that. However, we don't realize that inaction has a consequence too. Let that sink in for a little bit. Inaction has a consequence too. If we sow nothing, we reap nothing. If we don't invest, there is no return. Many of us are living our lives in the same way as we were 5 or 10 years ago. Not externally, but internally. We're the same people. Maybe we've changed a little bit internally as well, maybe because of life circumstances or the people around us. Maybe we've moved cities, so we have changed a little bit. Overall, if you think about it, we're pretty much the same. We still struggle with the same anger or overthinking or victim mentality. The same triggers trigger us. The same behavior keeps showing up in our lives time and time again. We haven't changed. We haven't taken any intentional effort to work on qualities in our lives that are hindering us from becoming our best self and living an abundant life. We haven't taken that effort to invest in our own selves. We haven't gotten worse, but we haven't gotten better either. And that's a problem. The thing with money is, if you're not splurging or wasting your money, it's very easy to think that you're in a good place. But if you want to multiply your wealth, you need to do something with it. You need to act. The thing with life is, if you're not doing anything seemingly bad with your life, it's very easy to think that you're doing pretty good for yourself. But if you want to multiply your life, you need to do something. Inaction is also an action. Letting life happen to you is also a choice you're making. There's nothing neutral about inaction. Not choosing, not doing, not investing is also a choice we are making, and the consequences are heavy because sow nothing, reap nothing. In fact, if you sow nothing, you're not only reaping nothing, but you're losing ground because life keeps moving forward even as you have stopped. You're actually going backwards. As you know, money loses value if it just sits there. Our lives are currently losing value if we just sit there. A great life doesn't just happen automatically. External circumstances, whether it is a career or wealth or a great family, do not lead to greatness. Greatness is built, greatness is pursued. Greatness comes from who you are, but more importantly, from who you are becoming. If you are not becoming anything, there's no greatness. If you are someone who's building your bank account, building assets, building your portfolio, but not building your life, you are doing something wrong. Sow nothing and reap nothing. I don't think any of us want to reach the end of our lives realizing that we don't have anything to show for it. We're the same person we were in our teens. We haven't changed. We haven't built ourselves. We haven't grown. We haven't evolved. We haven't developed. That's a scary place to be in. So, my question to you is, what are you sowing in your life today? Be honest with yourself. What are you doing today that is going to reap a harvest 10 years from now, 20 years from now, even a year from now? If you're doing something, if you're sowing good things, then that's great. But if you're not, or if you're not sure whether what you're doing is enough, don't worry. We'll talk about it now. That's why we have this podcast. I'm going to borrow from the Parsi philosophy, which talks about good words, good thoughts, and good deeds, and use the word good to share 3 areas of your life that you can invest in or start investing in today. The first area to invest in is good character. It all begins with your character. It all begins with who you are as a person. We can try to build our life by building our skills, our talents, but if we don't build our character, because that's the foundation, one day everything is going to crumble. I personally have experienced this. I spent a few years of my life trying to build good habits in myself. I wanted to wake up at 5 a.m. I wanted to read great books by great men and women. I wanted to work out. But what I realized is I had the motivation for a while, and then that motivation would wane. I would try doing something and I would do it for a few days, and then I would stop, then I would start again. And I stopped more times than I started, and then I eventually gave up. What I realized is I couldn't build good habits until I started with the foundation, and that is good character. I needed to go back to the basics of who I was as an individual, what are the qualities I wanted in my life, and build those qualities before I could build anything on top of that. So I realized that I needed to work on my emotional intelligence because my emotions were controlling me rather than me controlling them. And that's what I started with. I started with self control, I started with restraint, I started with controlling my emotions. And then slowly, I was able to build good habits into my life. So it all starts with good character. So the first thing to do is to put down who you are as an individual right now. Be honest with yourself and envision who you want to be. What are the qualities you want to have? What is the kind of person you want to be? And then start living in alignment with those qualities. It's telling yourself that I want to be a calm, compassionate, considerate, honest person, and then making those choices every single day to be calm, to be compassionate, to be considerate, and to be honest. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. But it has to start with that vision for this is who I want to be. These are the characteristics I want to have. Without that, we don't have anything to work towards. The second thing to do is to invest in good habits. Once you start working on your character, you don't need to wait till you perfect your character because that's a work in progress. You can parallelly start working on your habits. Sometimes we pat ourselves on the back thinking that, oh, it's great, I don't have these bad habits. But unless we have good habits, we won't be yielding the harvest that we are looking for. So we need to pick some good habits to have, whether it is getting up early in the morning, working out, reading one page a day, drinking more water, anything that is specific to you. Choose those habits and build those into your life. I believe that at every stage of your life, there will be some different habits that you are either continuing from previous years or new ones that you are picking up, because we are always growing. I don't think any of us can reach a stage where we say that, oh, I'm good, I'm great, I'm the best version of myself. No, that's never going to happen. And if you reach that stage, you need to ask yourself the question, am I really the best version of myself? Because I guarantee you that you're not. There's always more. Just like with money, when we keep building our wealth, there's always more that you can do. I want to save up for a car, I buy my car. I want to save up for a house, I buy my house. I'm not going to stop there. Most people don't stop there. They want more for the next level. I think if we do it with money, we better do it for our lives. We need to constantly be leveling up. If we are not, there's an issue. So build habits. Focus on certain habits. Track those habits if you need to. Use a habit tracking app if you need to, but plain old pen and paper also works well. Track yourself, and even if you miss a few days, you miss a day here and there, it's fine. Keep going. We tend to give up when we miss a few days, or we say, okay, I'll start from next Monday. No, it's fine. Keep going. If you missed yesterday, do it today. As they say, aim for the stars and at least you'll land on the moon. So we have forgotten about striving. We only strive if we see immediate results. But as you know, even with money, the results are not immediate. You need to invest for a longer period of time to see greater returns. It's the same with our lives. We need to invest for a longer period of time to see greater returns. So don't stop, don't give up, don't lose hope. Just keep doing the things that you know is going to help you build a better life. The third thing is invest in good company. Your company is the people you surround yourself with. Choose them wisely. Invest in good relationships. My last episode, Choose Your People, was on that exact topic. So if you haven't watched it yet, I'll link it so that you can go listen to it. But your company is also more than just the people around you. Your company is the books that you read. Your company is the social media accounts that you follow. Your company is the videos that you watch, the TV shows that you watch, the movies that you watch, the news that you listen to. All of this is your company. So invest in them. Invest more in books rather than on food deliveries. Unfollow social media accounts that are serving you, honestly, nonsense in the name of entertainment. Even if you're spending only a few seconds looking at that content, it is feeding your mind, it is impacting your mind. Watch movies that inspire you rather than movies that are just mass entertainment. I understand that inspirational movies are sometimes harder to watch, harder to focus on, especially if you've had a hard week, but they are more value adding to your life than other movies that are more like gore and violence and things that you really shouldn't be filling your mind with. Watch videos of people who have qualities that you aspire to, and not videos of people who are just flashing their lives around and telling you what the latest gadget it was that they purchased recently. Choose your company. Choose the people you surround yourself with. Choose your environment so that you become a better version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Invest in your character, invest in good habits, invest in the people around you, and you will start seeing your life transform from the inside out. Your inner life very much impacts your outer life. I think we've got it the other way around. We think our outer life impacts our inner life, and that's not true. And that's because we let it. If we let our inner life impact our outer life, you will see that the quality of your life just changes exponentially, improves exponentially. And isn't that what we all want? The returns on this investment, on investing in your character, investing in your habits, investing in your company, are great. And if it was a financial investment, and if somebody told you that if you do this, this, and this, there's a sure shot return, wouldn't you move heaven and earth to do it? Don't actually do it when it comes to financial investment because that just sounds too good to be true. But do it when it comes to your life because it's not too good to be true. It is possible. You can become a better version of yourself. You can become a better human being. You can become a great individual if you invest in yourself. Investing in yourself will never make you disappointed. Trust me. It may take longer, and as I said earlier, any good investment, any good return that you want to see is usually for a longer time frame. You have to keep your money in locked in for a certain number of years to get a higher return. Same thing with our life. We need to lock in to these good things for longer periods of time in order to start seeing returns. But you will see returns. Being lukewarm is not an option. Having one foot in and one foot out of your own life's development and growth is not the best strategy. I hope you realize that if you are someone who is investing financially, you need to invest more in your personal development and growth as well because it's more important, honestly, than wealth creation. And that's my opinion, but I hope that you agree with me. So I want to end this episode again with the question: what are you sowing in your life today? Today, not tomorrow, not when life gets less busy, not when you're better prepared or you have more time. Today, what are you sowing in your life today? And I ask you and I encourage you to ask yourself this question every single day, because if you ask yourself this question every single day and answer it honestly, it's a good way of ensuring that you stay on the right track. And if you've listened to this episode and you feel like I'm not doing much, that's okay. Today isn't too late to start. Start right now, start today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Just start. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for staying with me for the entirety of this episode. I hope that you learned something from this episode today, or this episode at least made you think. If you have been enjoying these episodes, please don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or follow on Spotify so that you do not miss our monthly episodes. If you want to talk more on this topic, you want to ask any questions, you have any further comments, you can DM me on Instagram at a life under construction, or write to us at a alifeunderconstruction.com. I hope you have a nice day, a nice week, and I will see you again next month with another topic that will help you get sculpted and help you live the life that you were always meant to live.